So as a college student, have you ever found it difficult to participate in class? Speaking from experience, I think we've all been there. Engagement is a tough problem to solve. Teachers, students, administrators, they've been trying to work at this problem for years, and honestly, we haven't seen much results. Still though, a large percentage of students find it difficult to remain engaged in class. So this got us thinking, what kind of approach could we use to solve this issue? The current educational approach is based on negative reinforcement. If you don't participate, then you get a bad grade. A lot of people find this a hard way to incentivize themselves. They think, how important really is a participation grade? What if instead we used a positive reinforcement model, where students were encouraged to participate based on some sort of incentivization? So let's say if a student engages in class, they'd be rewarded. The downside to this problem is, though, that not all students would feel motivated to participate in class. They would think, well, if I'm rewarded for participating, it wouldn't really hurt me if I didn't.
Is that what you think here?
Yeah.
So then, what if we used a system that incorporated both ways of thinking? A system that encourages students to proactively participate in class, seeking positive reinforcement. So this can relate to everyday life. Whenever you're focusing on a task, like let's say making a pizza, the end result is important to you, and you focus on it to achieve the result that you need. A lot of people don't think about this in an education sense.
Why is it so easy for me to focus on things like making this pizza? But I struggle, or I may struggle when it comes to something I care about, I just can't get into.
So a major component of this concept is success tracking. We want to display student successes, we want to track average performances, and develop desirable skills that employees in the real world want in their employees. It's market specific in its skill building. We want to find a way to measure student performances. We want to use portfolios as a means of university performance evaluation, and also compare successes of students in similar programs across multiple universities. One component of this is the education stock portfolio. We're developing an educational portfolio that tracks student skill building. It uses an internet-based platform such as Bannerweb. The stocks can accumulate in the portfolio based on performance. It displays students' educational progress. We can see how they're developing over a period of time. It's also a great way to market skills to potential employers. Employers can post jobs seeking specific skills. Students can get endorsed for these specific skills, so when they go into a job interview, their interviewer can say, how are you in Excel? And you can say, as a student, I was endorsed, as you can see in my resume, to use Excel. And you got that VLOOKUP stuff down. You can do all that because incentives. Also evaluated this concept based on SWOT analysis, so we covered strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Some of the strengths were that a lot of the students we talked to responded well to an incentive-based program. Their weaknesses, or places of pivot, were that they weren't really interested in small rewards, and it might enable students who are outgoing to take over in the classroom, which is already an issue because it's easy for a shy person like me to just feel invisible. Opportunities are that it allows students to market their skills more effectively, both in the educational setting and also in the real world when they get out there and start seeking jobs. And it really gives a more personal perspective about why they are good applicants. When you're an employer and you're looking at all these resumes, they all start to look the same after a while. If someone says they're good at Excel and someone else says they're good at Excel, which one's better at Excel?
The student performance rewards are based on two criteria. The first is the GPA rewards. They're provided for high performance in the classroom. So we took a model and we based it off of 48 credits, which is the 12 credit minimum per semester. And the example we're going to give is for a 3 credit hour class. If you get an A in a 3 credit hour class, you would get 5 points for the A, and then you multiply it by the credit hours to get a total of 15 points. As you progress through your education, the more A's that you get, the more points that you get, and this reflects 4 credit hour classes, 3 credit hours, 2 hours. It's all based on the same multiplication. These points add up, and over time you can accumulate a bunch of them, and we have 3 reward systems that these points are reflected for. The bottom, the baseline, so it's like the bottom of the best, is 150 points. The reward is free admittance to a National Honor Society of your choice. If you're in the marketing one, you could get a free entry to the Marketing Honor Society. So once you cash that 150 points in, those points are gone. You can't spend those double on 200 or the 250. You would just subtract 150 points from your cumulative. So the 200 points is a preferred internship position. So if the school has specific internships that are based on skills, you really want that position, you would get the preferred slot for that interview. And the interviewer would know that you're one of the preferred candidates, so it would kind of give you a leg up over other students because of your performance. The highest level is the 250, and we want this to reflect a business leadership conference, and you'd be able to be sent there, all expenses paid. A lot of programs, they offer the best of the best leadership opportunities for college students, and Alfred University would pick whichever one that they want to send their students to, and you could cash in your 250 points and they would send you there, no expense to you. So the other points system that we have sort of works hand in hand. It's the in-class and social engagement reward system. So what this is it provides students engagement points based on attendance and involvement. With this system, you can accumulate points a lot faster, and this is used to incentivize students to really get engaged in the classroom. So even if you're not a super stellar student, you can still get points, and these can still track towards your GPA point. What we're gonna end up doing is have 10% of the engagement points can transfer into your GPA points because they're easier to accumulate, but we only want a certain percentage of them so they don't outweigh the really smart students. Essentially, if you show up to class and you're fully engaged, your teacher can choose to give you 1 point per class per day. And the other side of this is the skill endorsement. Professors can decide that if you show a really good proficiency in something like Microsoft Excel, they can give you a personal endorsement that, hey, this person is really good at what they do for this specific skill. And then that can be used as a way to make you stand out more in the crowd. So if employers are looking for someone that's really good at 3D modeling software in a specific program, and you have that endorsed by a professor that teaches that, then it's like, hey, this is a perfect candidate for what they're looking for. With these in-class social engagement rewards, there's also a second rewards program that you can use these points, but only these points specifically for. So we have a 200 level, which is a $25 coupon at the collegiate restaurant. 250 is a $50 bookstore credit. 300 is a free parking pass, which I know a lot of students are interested in.
You guys know if we're like getting the test back today? Cause like I'm like not really sure how I did on that, you know? Like I studied a lot.
You studied for that?
Yeah. It's like
Wow.
kind of embarrassing, but
Nerd.
Yeah.
it's cool.
I didn't really try. I put like 0 effort into that.
It's cool. I put like 110%, but
Yeah, you know, I just kind of show up, do my thing, then I leave. Usually get an A.
wow, that's really lucky. I need to get at least a C in this to like pass the class, so.
Wait,
Yeah.
what class is this again?
Creativity and Innovation.
Oh.
Evening class. I have your test today. Some of you did very well.
Ah, whatever, man.
Tesla coil. Amy. And Brad.
Y'all see this? A plus.
And that's why, class, drafts don't own houses. All right, that's all for this week. You gotta know your homework. Don't be late to next class. Wait, Amy, can I talk to you for a minute? I know you worked really hard to get that C+, and you needed a C to graduate. And you were really engaged in class, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm giving you an extra engagement point. You kind of know how those work.
Great. Thank you. I really need that.
Yeah, no problem. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks. Miss Elgato, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to interview with you today. I feel like I'm personally qualified in the petting department and belly rub department because I've had several dogs. I know those aren't really your favorite things, but I've also had some cats, and they seem to really like my grooming and petting. My time management skills are pretty good. I took very large semester credits when I was in college. Actually, I don't know if you noticed, but my three-dimensional modeling capabilities are endorsed by a couple of professors on campus. Great! I'll start in a day. Thank you. It's nice to meet you.